So welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Chef Sarah, and this is a totally different setup for me. So I thought I would do something completely different. I wanted to bring you all into my world of coloring. So I use coloring to decompress. I love all things art, and so a part of art is coloring. I can draw. However, I have found a beautiful black coloring artist. Well, I should say artist, and she has a coloring club. Her name is Coloring Coco. If you all are familiar with her, I would say go ahead and check out her page. But I love her graphics, and so this is one of the PDFs that she has featured in her coloring club, and we are going to color it today. Coloring is very stimulating to me. I love colors, and I use coloring as a way to decompress, as a de-stressor. So it is Saturday as we film this video, and I do this lovely portrait, and so I am taking this Mother's Day weekend to have a little bit of me time, and one of the things I enjoy doing besides cooking and baking is coloring. So another form of art, just a little less messy sometimes until I start to add extra things to the page. Isn't that fun? So we're going to get into some materials. The first doohickey we're going to get into are my lovely markers. And so I'm going to remove these two, as well as this one, and this one. Okay. All of these, although skinny and fat, are both the brand King Art. Can you see? King Art. These are alcohol-based markers. I was sitting outside and I was coloring, and then because you can see like the borders already done and some things already kind of filled in, but the alcohol was drying too fast for me, and so I was like, I'm gonna go inside, and if I go inside, I'm gonna show you how I do these things. So first things first is the King of Art markers. These are the ones I'm using. Then for my skin tone colors, I will be using the Ohuhu brand of markers. They have wonderful markers. King of Art is really good as well. I love the tips on so these are fine and round tip markers. However, I have some brush tip ones, but the colors for those I'm not using right now, and I really like the brush tip ones. Then I have some Posca markers. This is for white, and I'm gonna be using these as well. As well as the star of the show, these bad boys. These were a gift from my lovely mentor. And so these are the Ohuhu oil-based color pencils. They blend perfectly, chef's kiss, with the alcohol-based markers. And you'll be able to see the color payoff once I get to actually using them. So I did the swatches. So the first set of the swatch is completely filled in. The second set of the swatch is like a light touch, and then the second part is a heavy touch. But it's still just the coloring pencils that are swatched. And I did that just to see how it would be if I needed to use a heavier hand versus a lighter hand. I just didn't realize that at the time I was gonna do it this way till after I got into like half of the color card. And so that's it right there. And all this is cute. Draw, feel, and power. I love that. Okay, and so those are the materials we are going to get into today. And the reason why I left a little pocket here And that's because Coloring with Coco has some beautiful tips and tools that she encourages her subscribers to use, and part of them is to plan out the colors you plan on using. And so I have those already sectioned off, so the entire page, minus this color as well, I use this for the accents, will be the colors that I use. So if you want to go ahead and take a quick little screenshot, if you like what I'm doing, you can go ahead and screenshot that now. And then yeah, you'll have all the colors down, minus the Posca markers, which are both white. They're just a white Posca marker, number one. One has a different tip than the other one. So this one has a finer tip, and this one has a wider tip. And so that's the only difference in the two. One is short, one is long, one has a fine tip, one has a fatter tip. But they're both white. And I tend to keep them downward. I know a lot of people's preferences are the kind of slanted out trays with the colors facing them this way. That's not my stilo. That's not what I like. And so I go for what I like and what I enjoy, and I like the wheel. So also, if you are interested in the marker carousel or Lazy Susan, it is from Dollar Tree in the $5 section. So I guess the $1.25 store. And so what I'm doing here is I am going in with this fuchsia color number 87, and I am coloring in the top of her blouse, and I've already trimmed off the page with some washi tape. And I decided to do the washi tape because I have a little confession to make. I colored this page before. I'm a serial, like if I love an image, I'll color it multiple times with different shades because why not? I can. I'm in the coloring club. I can do those things, right? And so I decided to edge the paper with some washi tape because the image doesn't go to the edge. It has like a really thin border. And so I decided to put the washi tape down because I wanted to see how it would turn out with the actual trimmed out border page already kind of edged out for me. And so it could be a little even and just maybe more aesthetically pleasing. As for the paper that I'm using a heavy but regular weight cardstock. I think it's 5 pounds. I think that might be too much. I'm not sure, but I'll link the cardstock that I'm using down below for you. And I have 3 sheets in front of me. So this is a swatch sheet that I've already kind of chosen the colors with here. So this is going to be your skin tone, hair, and pink accents. And I kind of wanted to do some like funky thing in the background with the clouds because I don't see clouds, I see something else. And so yeah, we're gonna use this pink, which is also ironic that I chose to use the pink washi tape along with the pink markers. And although the paper doesn't bleed through the paper, as you can see, it just saturates on the back really well. It kind of bleeds through here, and it's just a desk, but I, out of habit, just always put down an extra like scrap sheet of paper. So if you have anything that you've like printed on with cardstock prior to it and you don't want to use it, don't get rid of it. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Do not get rid of it. mean to put that shade in there. And see, that's a good thing. So I want to show you what I just did. So these are all the pinks that I had out. And so I was going to use the 4 of these, but I don't like this color with these, but I really like these colors. So on my photo grid, I've already X'd out this 121 because I don't like it with it. But somehow or another, it ended up in the carousel in the pocket with the colors choices that I decided to use. And so now I know. I left myself a little mental note. I didn't want to use this. So now I can put this off to the side. I'll put it away later, but it's going to be loud. And so didn't make that mistake, because that was one of the reasons why I decided to do this page again, because I wasn't pleased with the color when it actually swatched on the paper. So I swatched it on the side, and I kind of liked it, I guess. And then when I swatched it with the other pages, I mean on the actual page, it didn't swatch right. Ooh, and I'm glad I swatched this. I wonder how that got in there. This is purple. I definitely didn't mean to put that one in there. So yeah, it's really just these 3. I thought it was 3. Okay, look at that. Look at there. That's why you should always have a little test sheet of paper. Because you definitely don't want to make that mistake. Trust me. You don't want to like get in the groove of you're grooving and you're moving. And then even here, like, I'm gonna go for her lips. And so I want the outer lip to be a little bit darker and the inner lip to be a little lighter. And so I know this is the darker shade of this, but they look pretty similar, right? And so if you go ahead and kind of just give yourself that opportunity to do that ahead of time, you kind of save yourself some trouble when it comes down to your actual page, right? And Coco is really good with that little tidbit of education. And so I just want to kind of like lip line the lip really heavy. And while it's still wet, I want to go in with the other shade of pink, and I want to get right in that and blend it in. And so it'll be a nice soft pink. I'm just going to leave it open, and I'm going to brush it. If you heard that, I'm sorry. The window's open. It's a beautiful day, and I want to catch a breeze as I do this. And I'm going to leave that middle part open, and I'll come back later and fill that in. And so that's her lip. And to conquer a little bit of, I wouldn't say anxiety because it's not anxiety, but just like temptation, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do her jewels on her face, and then we're going to get to her face. I am not the greatest, but listen, who says you need perfection? This is a coloring sheet, right? Who's judging? We're not no judgment zone over here. I'm gonna use terracotta on her skin. And again, I don't have the brush tip markers, but I do have the broad and the fine. And so fine is what we have, and fine is what we're gonna work with. And so where we're gonna start, let's start on her hand. No, let's start on her ear, because this is, so you really want to start in the smallest section, and the reason being is because you want the marker to bleed into itself. That's the reason why we went for an alcohol based marker, is because it will give you a seamless stroke, if you will, and smooth it out and blend and kind of I'm sorry I turned the page. I can't color straight. If that bothers you, I apologize. it gives you that really good payoff, color payoff. And so you really want to start in a small corner, and you just want to kind of like go back and forth, small strokes, and fill it in like so. And so I should have started here instead of that end. So we're gonna hurry and get to it as fast as you can. And that was another reason why I needed to come in, because I couldn't do this outside. And I think that was like a fault. And I don't know if you could see that, like right there. So I'm just gonna kind of like go over that again. And it will get darker. You can build on these markers. So that's going to be a shadow point. So mental note, shadow point. But yeah, so, and that was another reason why I needed to come inside and do this, was because I really and truly could not get a good payoff because I was outside and the air was working against me, in a sense, because was just drawing the page too fast. And it was something that I didn't realize before, but now that I'm a lot more aware of how to use these markers to the best of my ability, like you really want it saturated. Like that's what you pay for when you get these high quality markers, like like you get that saturation, you know, and that payoff. And so this would be really dope with a brush tip marker, but we're gonna use what we got. And even when we get the new markers, we're still gonna use them because they work. And so what I'll do is let it dry, because it's still streaky. Like, and that's me learning, right? That's my learning curve. So like where you'll have like a smooth airbrushed kind of sort of feel, as you get better with this. I think I'm gonna go in the counter opposite direction of where I was the last time and just go over it again. You kind of just have to do, it comes with practice. You're not gonna get it out the gate, and you may get it out the gate, hey, knock it out the park, but sometimes you don't. And if you don't, it's okay. If anything, it'll be a good test page, just to test the colors together. You can, if you're like a fanatic type of person, I know when I bake, what I do is I go to paint stores and I get paint swatches, and I would literally, because I'm really, really, really good at mixing colors. Like I can see colors in colors. And so what I do is I will get paint swatches and I will keep them. And when I have those clients that are like, hey, like I need like a specific color, blue or something like that, right? I literally am able to make them a color that they need. And so if you need to see what colors go with other colors, that's a really dope idea, is to like get you some swatches and just kind of build a little binder. Like go to Dollar Tree and just get a binder and keep your swatches in it and organize them by, different base colors, like, and that way what colors go with what colors. If you're trying to do a grid thing and you're just not good at it. Like, I want to, like, say you want to get into coloring, but you're just not good at, like, knowing what colors go together. You know, that's a easy fix. Or, hell, ask ChatGPT. You can ask Google. You can ask Siri. You know, what's the color wheel for this, right? And so, just want to go slow around those nails. But something I want to do on this playlist, like I do on the cooking side of things. How are y'all? What's going on? How are y'all doing? How was you all's week? It's Saturday. It's Mother's Day weekend. It's a nice, beautiful, breezy day here in the Midwest. I did something I've never done before. I went to my first church Mother's Day brunch. I got invited by a member of the congregation, and I've been visiting this church for a little while now. I'm really enjoying it, and my goal and my plan is to become a member. Not that anything is holding me back particularly, but yeah, so I went to that, and it was amazing. Ran into a high school classmate. We chopped it up for a little bit, and yeah, made some really good connections. I don't know how that happened, but it was God, and I'm grateful for it. And so far, I have a little to-do list of some other things to do next week, which is amazing. And so I found that God is really challenging me in different areas of my life for good reason. And it's all gonna pay off. And so I'm like really blessed and eager to see where this new stage and phase of life may take me. I want to see, I'm nervous, right? Because I'm like, I really want to see what this chiseled side does. I don't know, but that second, like, that really looked good, so maybe not. I'm just scared I don't want it to get, like, not juicy, because I still got all this to do. We're gonna go for it. Anywho, so yeah, so that was my day today. So my mental is really good. I got to play in the garden. I cut the grass the other day and played in the garden and helped a friend plant their garden, and so yeah, that was pretty dope. Got finished with my Mother's Day orders that are going to get picked up later for P.S. I Love Cakes. And so, yeah. And so if any of you are interested in knowing a little bit more about my cooking channel, or the cooking side to this channel, you can click the other links. Become a member, of course, so I can go live with you and do this. YouTube has a new rule that you can't go live if you don't have 50 members or more. And so I would love to chop up with you all face to face, and well, not face to face, but you know, in real time, I should say. So I would need you all to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And we can maybe cook together. I would love to cook with you guys, and maybe set up something where you can cook and I can cook, and we could do like a virtual cooking segment some days, and coloring segment together some days. So yeah. But let me check. Okay, we're in good space. But yeah, so my cooking portion of The P.S. I Love Cooking channel is what brought me to YouTube. I'm a chef by trade, and God has challenged me in the area of education. And so he was like, you need to talk to the people. People need to hear this and be educated on, you know, just what they're eating, how they're eating it, because health is wealth. We all know that, but it's easier said than done for most. You'll be a bit surprised. A lot of people really don't understand how to properly cook a few food items, or just have questions, or you know, they have a nostalgic recipe that one family member may have made, and that family member is no longer here anymore, and you know, they're just like, well, how do I do it? You know, my grandma used to do this, or my mom, she would make it this way, and you know, I never had the attention to want to know how to do it when they're here. And so how do you do it? You know, I'm pretty much an old soul, trapped in a, well, not trapped at all, just in a modern day body, I would say, just a younger person. And so, yeah, this is where you come. This is your safe space to ask the questions that you may feel silly about asking someone older, or just don't have that person anymore to ask, like, how do I do it? You know, how do I get this done? And so I'm that person. Allow me to be that person, if you will. Let me do her eyebrows, because that's a little, what color was I to? Okay. Yeah, so that's what P.S. I Love Cooking is. And so I'll tell you a little bit about that story. When I was in elementary school, I used to get picked on. And so I always was a drawer. So let's get that out the way. Artist, always. Just, it runs in my family. And so I wanted that to be my life. I was just like, look, I could go into medicine. I was really good in science, but I was just like, you know, I just don't think that's for me, you know. And so I used to get picked on a lot in school. And so my happy place was the kitchen. I literally would just go in the kitchen and just create. It started off really small. My mom bought a, what is it called? An easy bake oven for me. One Christmas I got it. I think I was in like the 3rd grade. And it started with that. It started with an easy bake oven, literally. And what happened was I used up all of the little like cookie recipe, like dough or batter or whatever it's called, like the cookie stuff that came with it, or little cakes that came with it. I made them all like that weekend. And she was like, no one told you to do that, right? Like, it's Christmas. I just bought this. It's like really, really expensive. And I was like, well, can you just buy some more? And so I think they, like, a bunch of kids got it that year. And it was just like, just buy box cake mix, right? And so it started with that. So I would mix up the cake mix and make the little mini cakes and all the things. And it went from making the little mini cakes to using the real oven. And so it was like my solace. Like, no matter how much I got picked on in school, that was my peace. Was like being in the kitchen. Like, no matter what the situation was, I literally just found peace there. And so I was I'm small. I'm very short. I'm 4'11". As a full-grown adult woman, married with children, with a child. that was my piece. And so it just has always been that for me. And so that's when I knew, like, wait a minute, there are people who get paid to do this. Like, this is an occupation. And my cousin was like, yeah. So she was the first one. She got accepted into Le Cordon Bleu. She was going to go. And then I was like, well, if you go, I'll go. She, of course, was way older than me. And there was a change of plans. She didn't go. And so I was like, well, I'm going. And so I had these blinders on for years about going. And so that's what I did. When I got into high school, I had a counselor tell me there's no money in the arts. And I looked at her, I laughed, and I said, who needs money? Silly teenager. What do you know? What do you know? But anyway, I digress. By my junior year, I had already been accepted to 4 institutions. Le Cordon Bleu, Kendall, Kennedy King, and the Art Institute. And then, unbeknownst to me, here comes this random letter from Loyola Medical School. You've been accepted. And I'm like, bruh, I don't know who did it in a family, but I told you where I was going. So it's just an inside joke that I've always been this free-spirited, young lady who just knew where she was going in life, and really didn't. I just knew what made me happy, and I was like, if I have to do one thing for the rest of my life, this is what I want to do. And so when I went on that college tour to Le Cordon Bleu, I knew then, like, yes, I'm in the right place. Like, the uniforms were exciting, the kitchens were exciting, seeing all of the pastry chefs and what they were making was so exciting. And there's this thing where when you're in culinary school, I don't know if that's the case now, but the school I was at, you had to take up both trades. So you had to do culinary as well as baking and pastry. Like, it's okay that you are studying one more than the other, like concentration wise, but you have to know both. And I thank them so much for that, because when I tell you I'm a triple threat, baby, I'm a triple threat. And so yeah, it was much appreciated. And so yeah, just that's how I got into culinary arts. And so coloring, even when I'm in class, like, I'm the person that will doodle on the corner of the pages. Straight up doodle. So it has always been a little piece. When I'm writing, I write in different colors. I do not use I literally do not use black ink unless it's like something serious. Like, I do not. I like pinks and purples and greens and blues and all those things. And so it's not something that I have to like turn in if it's like note wise or something. Even to this day, as an adult, journal wise, that's what I do. Okay, sorry y'all, I had to pause the video. He had a brief intermission on my behalf. She is so pretty. Oh my goodness, I love. And even though it's like a little bit kind of like that, I can deal with that, because I can blend that with our beautiful Ohuhu coloring pencils. But anyway, so yeah, where was I? Culinary school, counselor, blah blah blah. So yeah, she just was like, there's no money in the arts. And I was like, silly lady, I don't care about that. Like, seriously, I was not like one of the ones who like literally like did things just for the love of money, you know? Like, I'm like, I know people who have careers in the prominent places and they ain't happy. And honestly, yeah, you do need money to live, but you also need happiness in some sort of a way. Like, I don't like when people say you don't need happiness. Like, what's happiness? And it's like, what do you mean? You have one life to live. Like, the Lord has blessed us with one life. And what you choose to make of it in that lifetime is what you choose to make of it. If you want to work to live, fine, do you. But you have to have some sort of freedom and know that there's some type of, like, you are the creator of your own destiny. Yeah, there's no money in anything if you don't put your heart and soul into it, or if it's not your passion, you know, if it's not your purpose. And I knew that I wanted to be a healer, and I knew that food healed me when I was sad and broken and depressed as a kid and was getting taunted and teased. And my family has always been really heavy in church and faith, and I was taught at a young age that, you know, the Lord is your salvation, and in whom shall you fear? And if you have no fear in standing up to your family and saying this is what you want to do, then who cares what the rest of the world thinks? And so I was just like, look, whatever. So although, yes, life trajectory could have taken me a number of different places. And it still will. I just knew that that's where I wanted mine to be in that way. And so I had a very, very sound and loving and warm-hearted mother who was like, okay, that's what you want to do. That's what you're going to do. Now, I didn't get to choose the college, though. Fun fact, I went to college at, 17. And so I still needed authorization from my mom to go to school and blah, 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 and all the things. And so I didn't get a chance to go to LaCordon Bleu, and which, thinking back, I'm kind of grateful for. I don't even know if even though I don't think the institution is still in existence anymore, but it was a nice little walkthrough. I did a competition there in high school. My senior year, I did the gingerbread house competition, so I did get to experience the kitchen and all the things, but it might have been a little overwhelming. I come from a pretty small high school, and so just may have been a lot for little old me, but it was nice. It was a nice experience. And so that's where and that's how I ended up in the culinary and hospitality field, and I absolutely love it on this side of the world. I feel like the industry has changed, but for the most part, the world has changed since COVID. And so no matter where you are, whatever you make something is what it's going to be in life. So make the most of it, you know. Do it happy. Do it with joy and faith and compassion and love and grace and humility, and do it serving your purpose basically to others. And so when I got into education, the educational aspect of hospitality and culinary arts was due to my family battling a lot of illnesses. And I was just like, I got tired of hearing this, we have generational this and generational blood pressure and generational diabetes. And I'm like, look, I know that it's a lot of things that come generational wise, right? But I'm like, Lord, I really want to break generational curses. And I just kept praying, break generational curses. And at the time, I just, it was a trending topic. And I was like, I want to break this. And, I don't want to be like this person. And I don't want to do this like this person. That's what I really thought the generational curse was. I thought that that's what it was. And fortunately enough, the Lord opened up my eyes to understand, baby, that's not the generational curse that I want you to break. You got that already. You ain't got to worry about that. What I want you to do is use this tool that you fought so hard for to break the generational curse of these illnesses, taking out like literal family members that you love when these things can be easily corrected. I'm not going to touch this right now, and there's a reason. But anyways, and so I was just praying to God, and I was like, I don't want my family to constantly be plagued by this, and this has a controlled hold on us, like. And so for that, I was like, I want to break the curses and this curse. And so family members started coming to me asking me like, hey, the doctor said I have this, and this, and they want to put me on this medicine. What should I do? I was like, well, that's easy. Just, do X, Y, and Z, replace that with this and blah, blah, blah. Then it went from one family member to another family member. And then eventually, because I was in culinary, so of course I took nutritional classes, and so I understood the gap between food and our community and our eating habits, because no one knows your community like community like you are a part of, right? And then my boyfriend, who's now my husband, was diagnosed with kidney failure. And so the Lord is so amazing that I was able to help aid him at a time where like medicine could only do so much, with that type of disease, like you really have to be very cautious about what you eat. And so I had a mom who was just like understanding. I was like, Mom, can you please move in? Like, I need to take care of him. And she was like, absolutely. But that didn't come without consequence, of course. Old people and family, y'all live together, y'all not married, blah, blah, blah. But they knew him. They knew our love for each other. So that was just like, sad talk. I didn't really care. Honestly, I really didn't. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and build her up and focus on the background later. So now what I'm going to do, pausing the conversation, I'll get back to it. So I've built this up pretty good, right? I'm not going to do the hair here. But what I'm going to do is focus on her skin, her dress, her lips, her face. I forgot to fill in her earring. Hold on. Okay, I'm not gonna really, I may focus a little bit on that, the little bottom part of her earring, but I'm not gonna focus on too much of that, and I'm not gonna focus on the hair. And so to do that, what I'm gonna do now is I'm putting away the markers, and we're gonna bring out these delicious things. These are the, again, Ohuhu oil-based colored pencils, and I'm going to use colors that are adjacent to the skin tones that I have down. And so I'm going to use several different color browns. I'm going to start with, swatching Bristol and dark brown, and then I am going to go in with the magenta, of course, the brilliant magenta color next, and then these different pinks using different pressures of the hand. And so I'm gonna swatch next to, so here's a tidbit. So I use the potato brown for her skin, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swatch this color here. And I'm going to do it twice because I went over it twice. I want to get it as close to the color on the on the page. It was Bristol and dark brown. And this is why it's always really good to kind of use your color cards to do those swatches, because if I hadn't, I would have been guessing and trying to guess and do all the things, right? So what I'm going to do is, this first one I'm going in with is the darkest brown, and I'm just going to see how that blends on top of there. Okay. First with light pressure. It's okay. And then I'm going with dark pressure because I want to shadow her first. So now I'm going to go in with Bistray. I think I said that wrong. I was saying Bristol. Oh yeah, that's way too dark for me. So I'm liking this number 43. If you all hear anything, and you know what, I'm gonna even be facetious. I'm gonna try these other browns. So there's about 2 other color browns. There's dark brown Outre and Van Dyke brown, and I'm gonna try those. So I like this one, so I'm gonna put this one down, and then I'm just gonna swatch this again. So if you hear anything in the hallway, that's my mom with the kiddo. Just got up from a nap, so there's that. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit. And so yeah, and that didn't go without consequence though, like him moving in. But I knew we were getting married eventually. Like I could really, like I said, I was a rebel. Like my mom was fine with it. You know, we just kind of help pay bills and stuff like that when he could. Because of course, like the point wasn't like for a financial gain. Like my family is very understanding when it comes to that. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that look good. That's the one. See, that's why you always gotta swatch more than one. So we're gonna put these back in the same order because I'm anal like that. What's this? 45. This one is 43. No, 43 goes next to this one. Okay. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna close this up. Push it off to the side. Push this back. And so yeah. So my family. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say that the sun is coming from this way, right? So the darker areas are gonna be here. So we're not gonna do her shoulder. We're gonna go into her jawline, the light hand, and just a nice circular motion. And we're just gonna chisel that jawline first. And so yeah, it wasn't about the money. Like you know, they understood he was sick and what was going on. So, but they did say stuff like they're Southern family. They're just gonna say shit. Like it is what it is. I've grown accustomed to it at this point. And so, of course, you know, there were some smirks and stuff like that. But yeah, so he moved in, and yep. And the rest is history. He actually proposed about a month later, which, unbeknownst to me, the man had a ring, honey. It had already asked my mom and my dad, which is another story for another day. Like months in it before he even found out he was sick, which was like nothing but God. Because I was like, I don't want to just do this just because you're sick. Are you sure? He was like, girl, you don't call me a woman. If anybody knows my hubby, they know like how he is and stuff. So yeah. But anyway, I digress. So yeah. Yep. And so the rest is history. And so I was really able to kind of help and aid him, and with the doctors and help him get back healthy, and using the knowledge and skill set that I had to do so was nothing but a blessing, you know. Because even if I did do medicine, I would have did like OBG. That was like the only thing I kind of wanted to do when it came down to medicine, but I didn't. And funny story, after I finished culinary school, I actually did attempt to go back to medical school, and it wasn't for me. We were in like science class one year, and they just I was in science class, and I was taking up, I think it was like biology or something, and we were studying like mutations of viruses and stuff, and I had like a lot of questions, and my teacher politely pulled me to the side and was like, "Ma'am, you can't think like that. You would cure a lot of stuff. Let's just say that." He would cure a lot of stuff. I'm sorry, I'm drinking some tea as I talk, so if you hear a little ice, that's what it is. I am sipping some tea as I talk with you all. I couldn't do this and not have something to drink. It's like virtually impossible. And so yeah, so she was just like, "Yeah, you can't. They can't be. Nope." And I was just like, "Yep, this isn't for me." I knew it then. It was nice to to experiment and just give it a go. And I'm one of those people. I'll register for school in a minute, honey. I'm not afraid of school. School should be afraid of me. Literally. But yes, though. That's my story when it comes to that. And so I've been on this path ever since, and then the pandemic hit, and more people in my family got sick, and we lost a couple family members, not due to COVID, but just due to old age and stuff. But it was a blessing to be able to kind of help them along their journey of like how they could do better for themselves, you know, nutritional wise, and cooking just those hearty, soulful African American meals, but just not like so heavy and so rich and so saturated. And I hate to say it, but like it's really harming us. And I don't know if this is something you all see in the communities or areas that you're in. And these kidney care places are popping up like crazy. And my goal is, with the Lord's help, is to maybe get into these school systems just to educate our youth on like how like this is a epidemic. Like this is literally taking us out right in front of us, and like no one is paying attention to it because it's just, we've just normalized bad habits. You know, when you normalize, it's one thing for a bad habit to be bad, right? But when you bring some normalcy to it, it makes it okay, and it's not okay. Like, you are harming your temple. This is, you know, and it's not okay, you know. So just to kind of get better and be better and do better, you know, for ourselves and for our family, is how I give back to my village and my community and to my people. Like, look, we was once a slave. We don't have to eat like that. Like, we was out there in them fields and we was doing the thing, but we needed to eat that kind of diet to keep us healthy. Like, we've grown above all that now. But you can still eat the food, but how are you going to prepare it, you know? And so I do have a website called The Chef Sarah, where I post blog posts about different dishes or food items, giving a little bit of history to those food items and how it's culturally adapted in our community, and how it became about, as well as like how to prepare those things. And so I build the recipe on the blog, but you can actually watch me demonstrate, how the recipe is put together or crafted. I'm sorry, I was just looking at the page. Her face is beautiful. I like the kind of tones in it. Like I love that. But anyways, and I was trying to remember which way I was shading her. So I'm shading her down so the shades fall here. But yeah, so, and so, yeah, so that's how all my pages tie together. And so my YouTube is where I demonstrate how those recipes are made, as far as like come together if you need help. I had a family member call me the other day and just asked me like how to make grits. And so I was like, oh, there's a topic right there. And so I'll just do like these little chit chats and stuff. I wanted to do something like this with a friend. And so I'm waiting on her to kind of feel a little better and a little bit more comfortable and have some time, as well as me and my cousin, the real McCoy, Karen McCoy. She's also on YouTube. That's my forever mentor. She's dope, you guys. If you need a coach and a grief counselor, she's amazing. Just her story and all those things. We're looking to do a faith-based Bible study where we will do this. She's a painter. She does beautiful watercolors, if anybody's interested. And I will color, but we'll be talking about faith and our, like, in our family, and how, just sometimes it's used to weaponize. It's not used to kind of, not even just in our family, but we'll use our family as a, as a example, just to weaponize people or to bring people down. But what's the interpretation really supposed to mean? Because you can really harm people, using the word of God, and it was not intended to be done in that manner. And so just bringing some actual like life to like the word in today's time, of course, because there's a funny story. We have a really big generational age gap. She's my first cousin. She is my mom's sister's daughter, but we have a very big age gap. My mom had me later on in life, and so there's that. So yeah, so just bringing the generations together, and using the Lord, using the Bible to kind of understand where, how to apply it in today's time in this world, and like with the sisterhood of family and cousin and blood and art and all the things, and just even something as simple as like her Bible journaling. Just being told, like, I remember that vividly, like being told not to harm or defame or deface the Bible. And I could understand why at one point in time that may have been the case, but like the word of the Lord is beautiful. It's a work of art in its own. Like, if you don't see a story or history or love and flowers and light and color when you're reading the Bible, I don't understand what is going on. But that's just me. That's good. I may go in and darken it a little bit later, but I like it. And I love how this oil, like, these color pencils are amazing. And these markers together, chef's kiss. I keep saying that, but it really is. And And listen, I'm not biased to brands, but honey, these are amazing. But you can build on them so good. Like, look at that jawline, honey. Yes. Yes. But anyways, so yeah. Yep, and so pretty much that's that one. So yeah, but now we're gonna do the magenta. We're gonna get into the shirt. And so yeah, so yep, so she has a lovely YouTube channel. It's kind of how I was introduced to the YouTube world, minus just watching the, you know, everybody kind of participate and such. I'm gonna use a little white and kind of milk out her lip a little bit. Oh, that's pretty. And then I'm gonna go in a pink. And although I was like real tedious with the skin tone, I'm not gonna be that tedious when it comes down to like the lips and stuff, because I pretty much know which colors when it comes to this. There's really no slicing and dicing. So yeah, move that out the way, make sure you can see really good. So yeah, it's just like, you know, just all the things. And so, but I don't know, I have to digress a little bit. I want to touch on the fact that, you know, my family was like, you're gonna go to school to be a chef. And I think the faux pas was because we come from the South, and it's like, we used to be made to cook for the peoples. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you want to go do it voluntarily? Like, all the things you could be in the world. And I really think that was like the thing that that was the thing my grandma said to me, was like, you wanna go cook voluntarily for the people? And I was like, all you see is cooking. I see it as so much more. But you can't explain to people what you see. Like, wasn't it Joseph who tried to tell people his brother's his dream? Or whatever. And they like threw him in a ditch because of that. Like, but thought there was a safe space. That's why I'm glad. Oh, her lips is popping. Yes, honey. Ow. But anyways, yeah, so that's neither here nor there. I did what I needed to do, and I fought for it. And I did kind of fall off a little bit. Got in my head just a little bit. Forgot who I was for a little bit. And then a wonderful person reminded me. Again, going over just to be sure. Now, I am going to be a stickler about it with this pink shirt, just to be on the safe side. But this is this is Brilliant Magenta, and it works the best out of the color options for 87. Based off of, like, this is more purpley, this is too pink. So I'm gonna go in light and kind of build it up in the, like, to make kind of creases in her shirt, whatever. So yep. And so yeah, just remember who you were. Like, the pandemic was a scary time, and so that's like the best wake-up call, I think, as a world we could have. Like, where else in history there may have been other pandemics? I don't know, don't quote me, I'm sure there probably was, or epidemics or whatever that may have affected smaller segments of the world at different times, but something like that literally affected the entire world at one time. if we could not have understood the power of God so much more then, like, don't take life for granted. And like, I didn't understand that someone else's purpose was connected to me. And like, by me stepping into my purpose, I literally unlocked the door for someone else. And that's called being obedient. And then being obedient to the Lord, like, that's how you get your blessings, you know? And I just thought I was just doing something like, yeah, move my boyfriend in, and oh yeah, and you do this and do that. But it was so like second nature to me. I didn't realize it. Like I say, I got bit by the culinary bug because I was teased. Like, I'm gonna get good at it, and all you gonna do is be quiet. Cause guess what? You gonna eat my food. Cause who gonna go hungry? Like, that's the way I thought about it. Like, you're gonna eat my food. Cause who's gonna go hungry? I was not good at sports. I had no desire to be outside getting all sweaty and stuff. Although I did play sports. I did track and I did a vocal sport. I sing. I was in choir and stuff. But like, that was like, nah. Then I went to this lame school. No, I'm just playing. It's not lame, but yeah. They didn't really have cool activities for me. And that's just because I was a church girl. And so this wasn't a churchy school at all. And so yeah, but long story short, it just, so I found my thing in culinary. And so, like, you gonna eat my food, you gonna tease me? Oh, okay, we gonna see about it. But I bet you eat when you get hungry. And so that's exactly what happened. But out of that, pain came purpose. And so that's what it was. So I don't know if you all can see that. Let me bring it closer. I'm gonna bring it slow so it doesn't like mess with your eyes. But can you see how I was able to take those folds and kind of like highlight it? Perfect. Ooh, hair is just, we haven't kind of got that whole thing down. I think I can finish it. We're doing really good. We're gonna keep talking and keep filming. And yeah, so just as long as God is all right with me, that's all I can say about the rest of the family. Now, they really don't care now. Like, of course, the shock and awe, and they've said, oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put some magenta on her eyes. The shock and the awe of the whole thing is over with. It's been many, many years. I've done many, many things. I was set to film a show, which I should have known then that I had this thing, honey. You got it, girl. But I didn't. I was so just, I don't know. Just doing too much. Just doing too much. I'm just doing too much, so pretty much just not believing in myself at the time. Now we're going back to the Marcus because we are going to do something pretty, really cool with this background. And it's going to only be with pink. I want to make sure I got the colors that I want. So this is my idea, is to, these are clouds, but her eyes are closed. And this is her world. And you're just invited in. And my power color is fuchsia. I love me some hot pink, honey. And we here for what? Good vibes and fun times. And that's what she's here for. And so we're going to take all these pinks and we're going to build a background. Now, I don't know where 17 came from, but because I literally don't remember it being in there, but we're gonna watch it and see what it do, what's it giving with the rest of these colors. And I'm gonna take a black pen and put it on top so I don't forget. And these, so this is again King of Art. And when it came down to the skin tone, the color was potato brown from Ohuhu. But these pinks are all again King of Art. And so this is her world, and her sky or thoughts or dream is in pink. She's empowered. She is feeling beautiful. And yeah. Okay, that must have was God, because I really don't remember that pink being in there. But we're going to use her. She's going to get used because she go with the color scheme. And in fact, I'm actually thinking less about this 341. We're going to see. We're going to start with the highlighting first. So again, you have to remember you want to allow the colors to bleed in together. So we're going for a more of a hypnotic feeling. And instead of using the fine tip, I'm going to use this chiseled side. And we're going to start in the middle with the darkest color. And we are going to go with the lines to create that beautiful effect. Which is why I bordered out the sides, because I realized that it was not, my eyes wasn't like evening out with what I wanted. Like, it just wasn't. So even if like I remove the washi tape and it's not even, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But what I wasn't okay with was I wasn't okay with like how these kind of ran off and like I was creating my own design on the side. I didn't like that. And so you're gonna go directly over that magenta with the next pink, both ways. And so you want it to kind of blend in together. And you still want to go with that pattern as much as possible. But yeah, so I wasn't really liking how like the ends here cut, because again, it was that's the end of the page, that's the end of the design. But it wasn't vibing for me. And so, yep. So that cloud, that area is good. So that was 87 in the middle, then 89. And then now I'm going to try to decide if I want to do 17 or 34. And my leaning is leaning towards just 17, 87, 89 and not this one. Although that is pretty cute. Yeah, we're going to take 34 out the equation because I'm hesitant. I'm really hesitant on it. So I'm going to put that one away. And then we're just going to go in with 17. Again, the chiseled in. And we're not going to go and close up. We're going to leave definitely some white stuff. A little white space. And just like that. And then we're just going to do the exact thing on the outside. And you want to, again, go with that vibration of like the cloud and just kind of follow its design out. Now what this is gonna do, I don't know. Is what I saw when I looked at it, This is what came to my mind. This is not a copy of anybody else's stuff. It's not a galaxy. It's just her world. This is what she's seeing. And so we're gonna run into 2 clouds now. So we're gonna start on the next cloud, and we're just gonna build up here and build up here. We're just gonna keep going and going and going. And yeah, so what else can we talk about? Oh, Mother's Day. So yep, Mother's Day is tomorrow. And so yeah, yeah. What else is to say about it? Am I excited? Yes, I am very excited for Mother's Day. But every day is Mother's Day for me, honestly. So I'll probably get some gifts, but which I'm blessed and thankful for. And to all the mothers that are watching this, that have experienced a tragic loss, my heart goes out to you. May God keep you in peace, and may you always remember that your child or mother is always with you no matter what. And I'm praying for you. I know there's a lot of how can I put this? Whether you have lost your mom or lost your child, or was expecting to become a mom and something happened, just praying for you. It's not easy while the rest of the world is celebrating. You are stuck, or at least feeling it. So my heart is with you. May the Lord give you a little glimmer of a smile, just in remembrance. And then you're gonna kind of just slow down, because you don't want to touch the top of that mountain. But you gotta go on with the last pink, so you're gonna blend it in as close as possible. But yeah, so just my heart is with you. Yeah. And I'll be open for a moment while we're calling this. I guess I feel, like I said, this is my piece, so you might get a lot out of me. And for any family member watching this, you all know this isn't a secret. We struggled for a while with the whole fertility thing, just due to my husband's health and everything. And so we were in our, 4th year of marriage, I believe. I want to say 3rd or 4th year, don't quote me. Before I was able to even get pregnant with our beautiful, beautiful child. And so I totally understand if anybody else do. And baby, that was another thing that the family, it's like when you're going through something, they don't remember. They don't, if they're not listening with listening ears, they don't. And I hate to put it like that. That's so childish to say. You're not listening with listening ears, right? But it's that simple. Like, people knew what my husband was going through. We never publicized it on social media. In fact, this is probably the most open I've been to the public world about it at all. Like, we didn't make a Facebook post saying pray for us or anything. Like, the family that knew. The family that didn't know. Family told each other. They talked about it, and that was it. We didn't discuss it. Outside of those, parameters, we, of course, friends were there and stuff, but I said all that to say, like, even the questions of when are you all gonna have a kid? Like, I'm looking at them like, can I make sure my husband's here first? And for a while, you know, I had a lot of strength in saying that. And then for a while, it took a toll on me. It was like, you know, are we sure it's an infertility thing? I even went to the doctor just to be, you know, for certain to see if it was me, you know, because I was being badgered by it, you know, about it for so long. And, you know, just not really having I had great support with like my husband, my mom, and at the time I was struggling, you know, with my faith and everything, so I didn't see it. And then the Lord sent me an angel. That's the simplest way I can put it. My cousin will tell you this. She was like, girl, that is your angel, and you have no idea. And he came and he told me, a man I knew for like 2 years, was like, you need to go ahead and, you know, be looking for a bigger place, because God is getting ready to do some amazing things for your family, and you need to get in position. I'm like, dude, what do you know? Like, we talk to each other in passing. What you talking about, Willis? You know? And sure enough, that man wasn't wrong. He was not wrong. And so I am eternally grateful. But I know that story doesn't always happen for, you know, everybody else. And so for that, I have no words. But I would say keep the faith and know that this is not the end. This is not the way. This is not the end for you. So just stay encouraged as much as you can, and especially for your sanity, because you're gonna have to find some peace. And so I just attached myself to other people's kids. Honestly, during that time, my family, you know, they would say little stuff like little mean things they didn't even think was mean, probably, but hurt me. It hurt it. It didn't really hurt him so much, because I had to let him know, like, he was like, I didn't know you felt like that, you know, by what that person said. And I was like, you're not gonna feel it, you know, of course, because you're a guy. And he was like, yeah, but you don't think I want kids? And I was like, dude, I want you to be healthy. I was listening to a podcast, and one of the stories was like a woman lost her husband, and they had put up their eggs, and so the family wanted her to give the eggs to them, and you know, all this. And I was just like, dude, I wanted you more than just I wanted a family, and I knew that the family existed with me and my husband being one, right? And so for that, that's what that was. And so, although looking back, was I a little, what is it called? Did I have a little caretaker's grief? Absolutely. We didn't do a honeymoon, because of that. So we did a staycation. We got married, in Chicago, and, you know, we did a staycation at a local hotel and did some activities, but again, he was on dialysis, so it wasn't much, right? But people only see, and even family members that knew he was sick only saw like 50% of it. They didn't see it all. So they only like, girl, it's so easy, you know? And then that's what's so easy. It's easy for you. Be thankful. It's so easy for you, you know? So But yeah, it was a struggle. The struggle was real. But I say all that to say, I know that, you know, tomorrow can be really touchy for some because of that. And I don't want you to find any pain by me talking about it. You know, I would say give it over to the Lord. And he will direct the path. He will, you know, direct the path on how to navigate it. But do not stress, do not worry. Because it ain't over until he says it's over. I mean, that's all I can say because, listen, Sarah is in her 90s. And you may say, and that was in biblical times. Well, last time I checked, Revelation hasn't happened yet, so. But I'm sorry if you're not a faith-based person. No, I'm not really sorry. I'm not really sorry for that. Oops, my bad. Can't change that. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I love it. Love it. I think with the hair, I'm just going to do something real simple. Real normal. Really, really simple. See, I'm tempted to turn this page upside down and then now that it's not going to go in the same direction because that's literally how I color. But I don't think I'm going to do that. So, yeah. Oh, I didn't bridge that gap. I probably, that's the magenta. That's 89. That's 17 and that's 17. Want to do something funky and put another magenta there? Let's do that. This page is so wet. Oh, now that's pretty. I like it a lot. Let's kind of thin it out on the sides. Yeah, see, these alcohol markers are just everything. I also have some watercolor markers, which what I'll probably do on a live is do a watercolor page. See, I kind of changed the color, but then it's that color is down here too. So now it's like you have 4 different colors, which is kind of like what 341 is. See how that blended together and kind of made that? I don't know if you can like get any closer or whatever, but yeah, I see it peeking through. Maybe that's what the mental notation was that I didn't really realize. But anyways, so yeah. But yeah, back to the color thing. I'm not gonna start here. I'm gonna start here and then go that way and come down. So yeah, so I may do some watercolor markers on the next one. I do color with me and chit chat. That was a pretty loud car. I was kind of thinking like, is that an airplane? But I digress. So yeah. Color, do a watercolor with me. And maybe some, I really want to do this real thick. I don't know. It's looking real good. It's magenta. That's 189. Yeah, so, because I like to do mixed medias. So, I really like mixed media. So, I am a marker, color. I guess you could say this is a mixed media. I don't know. Does it have to be more than 2 forms of media used for it to be mixed media? Because I could think of how to, like, expound on this. Like, I have a bunch of other, like, I have some foil, what I was getting ready to say, I have some foil, gold foil I can put in her hair. Because this is looking real, like, vibey, I could put some in, like streaks and make it, like a stone, so it looks like rose quartz. There's, like, endless possibilities. Like, I'm just gonna blend it so it looks really good, y'all. So it doesn't even, look at that, a seamless blend. Like, look at the marker, it's amazing. But anyways, yeah, so the it's like endless possibilities with this. What are you all doing today on this Saturday? It's getting later. I think we've been coloring for like a few, well over an hour. Maybe, I think we're going into like 2 hours at this point. Oh, I didn't bring that other color down. I was like, why isn't it doing it? Let's see what happens. But yeah, so do you all have any plans for the weekend? I'm gonna go about to like right there, and then I'm gonna start the other cloud and work my way up, and then blend as we go. And you want to know something? I really probably wouldn't even take this washi tape off. Like, I really like it. Like, I'm definitely gonna hang it up, so when it's like done and I'm done doing like all the finishes touches and everything on it, I'm gonna post it so you can see it. And I'll finish her hair and finish the clouds, and I may add some trimming to it. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop here with recording, and I'm going to ask that you all like this video. Please subscribe so we can go live and do some art together. We can do some cooking together. And thank you all for watching. I really like this. This was very soothing and calming to me. To a really productive day, a really faith-based Saturday for me. And this was amazing. Please follow me on all platforms. I do different things on different platforms. I'm not one of just those creators who does everything and then just posts it this one click with all different platforms. You have The Chef Sarah, which is my website, which can take you to my blogger page, where you can look up my recipes that I actually create on YouTube. And demonstration purposes is for YouTube, and the actual recipes are for my blog with a little bit of history about me, family history, with the connection to the recipes, as well as historical history with the actual recipe, whether it's, you know, from a different culture, background, time period, reason being why they make it the way they make it, things like that. And then we get into how and the ingredients that it takes to produce the recipe or prepare the recipe. If you have any questions or things or ideas that you would all like for me to actually maybe create on this channel. You can drop down in the comments below and just comment and let me know some recipes that you may struggle with, that you would like some demonstration on. Again, I am a professional chef, but for the purpose of YouTube, I film out of my laboratory, which is the kitchen. And so I decided to do something a little different for, like, you know, a self-care Saturday, it being Mother's Day weekend. I decided to do a color with me. And so if you all enjoyed it, we will do this again. But in order to do this on a live basis where we can do it together, I must get to 50 subscribers. So I want to get my subscriber count up. I'm only about 30 away. I shouldn't be too bad. Like, share, comment down below. And until next time, you all have a wonderful day. Be blessed.